Hi, how old are
Good
you?
morning, man.
Good morning.
21.
All right, so here's the thing. You're young, and I'm sure your attorney has probably told you, whatever happened with this, these are people that you should not be hanging around. This is your chance to get your life together. Otherwise, you're gonna end up at the jail and end up in prison. You understand?
Yes, man. You will never see me in this courtroom ever again. I've
All
never
right.
been in trouble. I don't plan on getting in trouble. I plan on doing something in my life.
All right, what are your plans?
Getting back at my job at overnight HEB
Okay.
and getting my apartment back and my car.
All right.
It's a blessing.
So what's your dream job?
Uh, I really want like to be a real estate agent.
Okay, well, I mean, that's doable, but here's the thing. If that's your dream job, you need to write it down on a sheet of paper, and then you need to figure out what steps you need to take to make that happen. Otherwise, your attorney will tell you, he and I, what are we, 22 years old? Once you pass 20, yeah, once you pass 21, time starts flying. And then you look up and it's 30 years, or you're 30 or you're 40, and you still have this dream of being a real estate agent and you didn't do anything to try to get that. You understand?
Yes, man.
All right. Good luck to you, okay?
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. They'll release you at midnight. I have no control over that. And no more tattoos, especially on the face, okay? All right. Are the parties ready on Glenn Lorenzo White? Is he here?
Yeah.
He's here. All right, come down, please.
Why?
Morning. All right, the court is calling 2025 CR 0022709, State versus Glenn Lorenzo White. Could I have parties announced, please?
Rick Pena for the state of Texas.
Bob Romack for Glenn White.
And are you Mr. White?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you entered a plea of no contest on May 27th. According to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 6 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine, affirmative finding of deadly weapon. This is to run concurrent with 2025 CC 005111, and there's an affirmative finding of family violence. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, ma'am.
Any objections?
No.
State?
I'm from the state.
No
Defense.
objection.
All right. Any witnesses from either side?
No.
Any witnesses?
None from the state.
All right, then, state. Let me see, I believe you may be opposed. Just 1 moment.
I was silent, Your Honor.
All right, you're solid. All right, you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, counsel, I'll hear your argument.
Judge, Mr. White's had some issues in the past. He said it's different this time. He spent time in jail. It's helped him develop a new outlook. He told me he's going to follow your instructions. If you give him probation, he'll never be back here again. We like the recommendations, the probation, outpatient treatment, weekly drug testing. He's had a drug problem. He needs to address that.
Mhm.
Also, the 180-day jail sanction is a good idea. We're in agreement with all of that.
All right, so, Mr. White, is there anything you want to say?
Yes, ma'am.
You want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record, please.
My name is Glenn Lorenzo White.
All right, what did you want to say?
I would say that I made a mistake in my life when I lost control.
All right, so here's the thing. Are these mistakes or are these choices?
No, it was really a mistake.
Why do you say it's a mistake?
Because I don't know, I just lost it at that moment.
Well, no,
And I got really angry and stuff.
no, here's the thing. You picked up a hatchet, right?
It was tomahawk.
Okay, you picked up 2 tomahawks. Did you think it was something else? Or did you know it was a tomahawk?
No, it was tomahawk. I just grabbed them and I wasn't thinking.
All right, so you grab 2 tomahawks. And according to this, it's with this Monique Gant,
Yes.
someone that you've used drugs with. I don't know why you all are still together. because I read the PSI report and you have two children, younger children, you don't even know where they are because you were using drugs, she was using drugs. You didn't get your life together with CPS and your children your rights ended up being terminated and you're still with this person. So according to this, it says, because I want you to tell me where the mistake is. Victim stated that suspect, that's you, arrived at the location to charge his car battery. Suspect saw victim's car and went inside the house to take groceries that the victim bought. Suspect put two hatchets on victim's car. Suspect then grabbed a pole that was on the ground and tore through victim's taped up window and attempted to grab things from her vehicle. Suspect then grabbed the two hatchets and was swinging them around, approaching victim, coming within 5 feet of victim. Victim stated that suspect said, "I'm going to cut this bee," and noticed witness standing behind her. Victim stated that suspect walked to the neighbor's house and dropped off the two hatchets at the neighbor's house.
That's not true. I went to my mom's house. That was my mom's house. And I went
So
to-
why would you try to take groceries from the vehicle?
I didn't take no groceries from no vehicle.
Well, I mean, she said you cut through her window. I'm assuming the window
Yeah,
was,
no, I picked up the little pipe thing and it had plastic on the window and everything. They tore it open. and
Why?
everything. I was intoxicated too, Charles.
all right. Here's the thing, Mr. White. I don't think you'll be a good candidate for probation. And let me just tell you why. You've been on probation before. Then you have a theft case that you were convicted of. Then you have a criminal mischief that you were convicted of. Then you have an assault case that you were convicted of. This started in the 80s. And then you have another criminal mischief that you were convicted of. Then you have another assault case, they say dismissed for insufficient evidence. It's probably dismissed because the complainant didn't want to go forward with it. Then you had a possession of marijuana, and I realized it's marijuana, but you were placed on probation for that, and your probation was revoked. Then you had another assault, and now we're in the 2010s. You had another assault, and you were given probation, and your probation was revoked. Then now you have a violation of bond or protective order, which I'm assuming is related somehow to this incident. Then you had an aggravated robbery case that was rejected. I'm not even considering that because it's rejected. I don't know why it was rejected. Then you had dealing cocaine. You were sentenced to state jail facility. Then you had another dealing cocaine and you were sentenced to prison. Then you had a burglary with intent to commit theft by force, and you received 15 years for that. And then you had another manufacturing delivering. You did time for that. Then you had an aggravated robbery. It was dismissed for missing witness, injury to the elderly, dismissed, missing witness. And now you're here before me. How old are you?
I'm going to be 62 years old.
All right. So I don't think you're a good candidate for probation.
Can I say something?
Sure.
See, I kept changing my life. My mom got sick now. I'm old too. And I don't know if I had that much time left in my life. I really want to see my mom. She's in her 80s. If I go away, she will pass away. That's all I have in my life is my mom.
All right. So here's my question for you. And I'm not trying to be cruel, but you knew about your mom. Why would you do this? Knowing about your mom?
Well, my mom just got sick recently since I've been locked up.
Mhm.
This year started since I got locked up. She's been in the hospital in and out about 4 or 5 times. She had a minor heart attack.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be like this.
Well, I mean, these are things we need to consider, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is finding you guilty. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon, affirmative finding of family violence. The court will sentence you to 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. This is to run concurrent with 2025 CC 005111. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, and there's to be no contact with Monique Gant, Gant, and the court will recommend the therapeutic community. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence and also a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, Mr. White. Your history doesn't look good, right? And sometimes I look at that, right? And I have to look at that because I have to consider everything. And so I'm looking at your history, and your offense is escalated. And then you have different issues where you are placed on probation, your probation gets revoked. You're given parole, you don't do well on parole. And I will tell you, I've done parole hearings before, and parole is so much easier than probation is, because parole is sort of, in a way, it's sort of like college. And this is the best way I can explain it. When you're in public school and you're not in college yet, everybody is telling you everything to do. This is your class for today. That's what probation does. When you get on parole, what they do is they don't tell you you need to do this, this, and this. They just give you a sheet of paper. You have your freedom. And on parole, if you report, call them whenever they want you to call, and do a drug test and get employment, they're happy. They're satisfied. So for you to have the parole issues that you've had, that tells me a lot. But I'm recommending the therapeutic community for you. The therapeutic community will help you when your parole time comes up, because they're going to see that you are actually doing something to try to help you with your drug addiction. Because when people are looking at whether or not to place you on parole, and I've done parole packets for my clients in the past too, they want to know, if they place you on parole, is this a person who's not going to commit any more offenses? So you need to be working on a plan. Like, I'm going to be doing sober support meetings. This is where I'm going to be doing them. This is where I'm going to be living. I'm going to be stable. This is how I'm showing you that I'm going to be stable. That's what you'll need to do for them, okay? All right, good luck to you, sir.
Good luck.
All right, let's talk about that. This hearing with Glenn Lorenzo White was a striking example of how a lifetime of bad choices can catch up with someone, even when they try to frame their conduct as a single mistake. From the moment Mr. White took the stand, you could tell Judge Boyd was both patient and clear-eyed. She had no intention of sugarcoating what brought him to this point. Mr. White, who is approaching 62 years old, pled no contest to charges that included an affirmative, finding of a deadly weapon, and family violence. His demeanor was respectful, and he didn't shy away from admitting that he'd lost control. But you could feel that the judge had heard this speech many times before. When she asked why he called swinging 2 tomahawks at someone a mistake, he admitted he was intoxicated, but stopped short of accepting that these were deliberate choices rather than accidents. Judge Boyd didn't raise her voice, but she walked through his extensive criminal history, which dated back decades. Multiple theft convictions, assaults, criminal mischief, probation violations, parole revocations, drug distribution cases, burglary, and even aggravated robbery. She did this not to humiliate him, but to illustrate how long and how consistently he'd failed to change course. The defense tried to highlight Mr. White's desire to care for his elderly mother, who had recently fallen ill while he was in custody, and you could hear genuine emotion in his voice as he said she was all he had left. But Judge Boyd made it clear she couldn't ignore a pattern of escalating conduct just because of personal hardship. She reminded him that his mother's situation didn't absolve him of responsibility. He'd known her age and health before he picked up those weapons. It was a sober moment, but also a necessary one. Throughout the proceeding, the atmosphere stayed calm, even as the gravity of the record made it clear probation wasn't on the table. Judge Boyd ultimately sentenced Mr. White to 5 years in prison with credit for time served and the recommendation for the therapeutic community to address his substance issues. She explained, in her thoughtful way, that the therapeutic community might not change the past, but could help demonstrate a commitment to sobriety that would be important when parole came up. Even then, she gave practical advice, telling him to start thinking now about how he'd show stability and readiness to re-enter the community. This was the kind of hearing that underscores why accountability matters and why courts can only do so much if a defendant doesn't follow through on their end. Mr. White seemed to accept the sentence without protest, perhaps understanding that, after so many chances, there were simply no more excuses the judge could accept. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one,